Hello YouTubes, this is Grimweird coming back at you with more Enigmatica 2 Expert Mod Pack playthrough action for Minecraft 1.12.2. Alrighty, so today our task is we're still trying to work on, getting ourselves the infrastructure, the ultimate crafting table, fusion crafting core, etc. for the end game. And one of the things that we want to get is an infinity booster card. So this goes in this slot right here. And as far as I know, it will make my wireless crafting terminal um, it will make it work from anywhere, hopefully. Maybe even across dimensions. Whatever it is, I want one. And so now that we've gone to other planets and rounded up all the clath rates, we can actually sort of make one. It's going to take some work, but we can make one. So, ME quantum link chambers, we're going to have to make 4 quantum entangloporters. So that's going to be a bit of resources and work, including a dragon heart each. Singularities, that's going to take some work. We have to do this whole matter condenser whatchamajigger thing. So that's going to take a bit of work, and it's going to take making one of these. So, yeah, got to make one of these to make one of those. So that's going to be some work. A 1024K ME storage component, which is we're going to require 3 256, which means we need a total of 9, possibly 10, because I think another recipe wants one of these 64K ones. So that's going to take a bit of work. But right now, what we're working on is making the 2 Anglesite. So we need 2 of these bad boys. But now that we've been to other planets and gotten the energized, destabilized, and resonant clath rates, we can do those. We have up through our tier 6 environmental tech crystals. We have rich slag, we have the clathrites, we have Ender IO, and can make prescient, weather, enticing, octatic, and sentient Ender stuff. And the next thing we'll have to do is I have a crafting core, but I've only got 1 pedestal for it. I think, let me check my thing here. I do have a second pedestal for it. So I'm sort of overbuilding here. That's alright. It's a little too late now. No, it isn't. So we need to build 18 more pedestals. Let me just double check that real quick. Make sure that isn't my one and only pedestal. Oh, okay, that is my one and only pedestal. I already pulled it up. Okay, I'm glad I double checked. So we do need to make 19 pedestals to get to 20, to have 20 pedestals. Well, this one only requires, I think, 15, but we might as well make 20 because there is a recipe that requires 20 pedestals around the crafting core. So let's see, let me get that back out. We need black iron, because this stuff isn't particularly cheap to make. Uses up a lot of Invar. Alright, so the first problem I ran into is I can't figure out how to get, I had 5 buckets of water in here, and I couldn't figure out how to get it out. The trying to extract with Ender IO conduit didn't seem to work. There is no liquid out on this machine. All in all, these advanced machines are not all that advanced. They're faster and they use less resources, but they're sort of a pain in the ass. So basically what I ended up doing was just breaking this normal fluid input hatch and then letting cryotheum spill everywhere, and then putting a new one back in, um, and that got rid of the water that was in there. And so now I'm going to try and be more careful about only giving this as much fluid as I'm going to use of whatever kind of fluid I'm giving it. So I've got liquefacted coal here, and I've only hooked up as much as I'm going to be using. So if we go to the input, we're going to throw this in here and hopefully make 19. There it goes. It is pretty fast, I'll give it that. And it does use less resources, so I'm saving some black iron doing this here as opposed to through an actual forestry wooden carpenter. Okay, and item output is here. Cool. So now we have the crafting core, and now we've gone from 1 pedestal up to 20 pedestals, so we can set those up somewhere and put a quantum entangled singularity in there and make 2 Anglesite. So I have all of the junk and stuff for that. So I'll add that to that pile. You can see here I've got all the things. So let me find my other pedestal. Pull this out. And the crafting core. Alrighty, and that should be good to go. So I'm going to pause the recording here, and I'm going to set up the crafting core with all those pedestals, and we'll see if we can make a couple Anglesite. Be right back. Alright, we are back, and we have stuff, and so this is going to be sort of annoying. It's going to really help to... I got to look into maybe automating this. Probably going to be a pain in the ass, but so is doing this. But alright, whatever. We're setting down now the environmental tech crystals. Yeah, we've got a sentient ender, octatic capacitor, enticing crystal, weather crystal, prescient crystal, and then hopefully the pièce de resistance. Hey, it's chooching. Oh, hey, and it's done. At least that was fast. How do I get it off? Right-clicked. Eventually work. Alright, well, at least that was fast. I think that takes... Yeah, that took 100 million FE, so... I don't know if that made much of a dent in our thing here. Nah. We've got 614 billion. And we're bringing in lots. We probably had enough in the buffer, which is why it was so fast. Alrighty, so now we're going to do that again. I won't make you guys watch me place that again, but that'll give us our second Anglesite. Then I need to work on making the matter condenser, the quantum compressor, so that I can make a matter condenser so that we can make more singularities, because I'm going to be 1 singularity short for this this fiasco. Now, fortunately, I'd gotten some singularities from loot chests during my playthrough, and I've gotten 3, and I used 1 to make quantum singularities that I'm using for a quantum ring that connects this at my basalt level base up to my mage tower. And then I had two singularities left, which would have done this, but I also needed two quantum singularities, which come from one singularity for this. Now, if I'd have been thinking ahead far enough, I would have just broken my quantum rings. I would have done this step last, and I would have broken my two quantum rings and just pulled out those quantum entangled singularities. And then I could have used the two that I had for my card, and then I hopefully won't need quantum rings anymore. Unfortunately, I wasn't thinking that far ahead, so I turned one of the two singularities I needed into the quantum singularities we just mated for this. And so now, when we get all this done and I pull down my rings, I'll have like two quantum singularities left over. However, it's probably not the end of the world, because I'm guessing we will, yeah, we're going to be needing more Anglesite in the future. Lots more. So, yeah. Oh, good gracious. I need a creative power cell. Ugh. Alright, anyway. So yeah, we're going to have to go through all of this anyway. Again, it's all about the infrastructure. And it looks like a matter condenser and the quantum compressor and that whole thing and making singularities is part of that infrastructure that we need to have. So we're just going to march on through it. So I'm going to pause the video again here. I'm going to make my second Anglesite, and I do have the Elite compressing factory and the 2 auto compressors and the 4 compressors to make, and a bunch of pistons. So I'm going to try and make that next, if I have everything I need. So I'll be right back. Alright, we are back at our extended crafting table, and we are trying to make this guy, the quantum compressor. So now that gets us one step closer to the matter condenser, which is used to make singularities. So I'm going to need another 64K ME thing. So let's see, get that crafted. Just going to go ahead and make a few if I've got the mats for it. Nice, done. So we'll get one of those out. And how does this bad boy work? Let's see. Apparently we're gonna do what? 10,000 items. Oh, we gotta put 10,000 items in there. All right. Fantastic. I better read up on this a bit. I had heard that we needed to do something insane, but I'm not exactly sure how this all goes together. I guess I could plop it down and see what the interface looks like, if it really looks like that, or if it has more guidance. Nope, it really looks like that. Alrighty, so I'm going to read up on this before I waste. I mean, we don't have a problem. We don't have a problem coming up with 10,000 items. We have so much stuff, so I can dump 10,000 cobblestone in there, no problem. I just want to make sure I know what I'm doing, and I'm not sure why there's a picture of a piston there. So anyway, I'm going to read up on how this thing works, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I think I got it figured out, and this is turning into a project. So basically, it's going to need 10,000 pistons. So we're doing this recipe. We're going to put Elite compressing factory as a catalyst in the first one, and then we're going to feed it 10,000 pistons. So at first that was somewhat daunting, but as you can see, I've already got some pistons here. So I was searching around and I found out that, so I'm not exactly sure what all can go through the IC2 replicator in Enigmatica 2 Expert. Because if we take a look here, oops, at its uses, it has this page and it says custom blocks that can be scanned and replicated, and piston is not on that list. But I read somebody saying that they used their replicator to make pistons, to make 10,000 pistons, and I was thought, well, crap, I've got like 6,000 buckets of UU matter and could make more. Maybe I should try that. So I scanned it, and sure enough, this sucker will take a pistons. Now I wonder what other things this thing might take that I'm unaware of. Will it take this? No. Will it take this? No. Will it take this? No. So I don't know. I'm going to have to play around with this and figure out what else will go into the scanner to use up some of this UU matter I've got. So I put this in here, and if we back all this up, this thing is not fast. And one of the problems, I think, was it only takes an X amount of energy per side. So if I'm only putting energy through one side of it, it chokes out on energy when I start to put in overclockers. However, putting in, you can see I can speed it up a lot. If I put in, I'm up to 13 overclockers stably, putting power in with ultimate universal cables that can do 100, well, they can do 1,000,000 FE per thing. So that's pretty good. And I'm wondering if I can make it even faster, but I think that's probably going to be fast enough. Let's see what if we're doing any damage to my stockpiles. Hey, we are actually like eating into our power levels by pumping millions of power through the replicator. So now I just got to figure out a way to extract these. We'll see if we can maybe use the bottom here and extract these with a, if I got ME anywhere close. Let's see, that's at 8 channels already. That's at 8 channels, that's at 8 channels. That's at 4 channels. Let me run upstairs and see what this whole mess is up to. Oops, downstairs. $29 of 32. So what we can try and do here is, I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to extract them fast enough to get them into the other machine. Let's see. All right, let me play around a bit and see what I can come up with. Probably what we're going to do is something along the line of putting this right next to the replicator, and then we're going to try and use an Ender IO item conduit chock full of speed upgrades to see if we can just bust these into the so we'll need one of those. How many upgrades do I have for that? At Ender upgrade. What are those called again? Extract speed upgrade. They require pistons. Fortunately, we have pistons. How many of those do I have on hand already? If any. I've got 2. And I've got it taut. Let's go ahead and ask for 12 more of those. I forget how many it can take, but alright, I was going to pause the camera, but I think I've got a plan. So let's go see if we can make it work. So we're going to need to get that quantum whatchamajigger out again. And we're going to need that factory. Where do I have it? I must have it in here. Oh, do I need a second one? I think I used it up. Alright, so I needed a second elite compression factory because I made one, but I used it up here, making the quantum thing. And now to make this, I need a second one to act as a catalyst for this recipe. Alright, so I will pause. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another elite compression factory. Then we're going to set up an Ender IO situation here for items. We're going to try and pull things out of here. And we're going to, let's check the info here. So if I put in, what are we at? 28 items per operation. We got to get up to at least a stack per operation, I think. $56, $52, $60. All right, so I'm going to get at least one more of those. Extract. Just in case I'm going to pull out a bunch. They move pretty quick. So 15 of these gets me to 64. That's a stack per operation. That will hopefully keep up with this thing. And then, is there an insertion speed? 1. I seem to remember there being a down arrow that was an insertion speed 1. Apparently not. Well, I guess we'll just see what happens here. Actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and put this down here. This is all janky. I gotta figure out if it works, and then I'll worry about making it pretty and scaling it up. Because I noticed that this thing also makes Singularity, so I was like, oh, okay. So we're probably going to need multiples of these, and we're going to need to be running it like crazy. So we'll have to get something set up. Alright, so blah. Let me see if I can make this work, and I'll be right back. Alright, we're juggling around. Let's see, we got a new osmium compressor, and now we need to upgrade it to elite tier. Done. And now if we put that here, that apparently queues up the recipe. Got to give this guy power. This is a janky installation, pardon me. I'm just trying to make sure I know how this damn thing works. I have a feeling we're going to have to upscale this when we start making singularities. So, this is just proof of concept at this point. Alright, so we got power. We're giving you that. Alright, 64 of 10,000 pistons are in place. Just out of curiosity, we can inject them. That's cool. Alright, so now you're not inserting though, are you? Insert, extract, Always active. Oh yeah, look at that. There you go. And how we doing here? We are hauling. We are making a few pistons. I could throw a few more on the fire, so this thing seems to be able to take it quick. Oh heck, we're already up to 1,000 almost. Nice. Well, this isn't anywhere near as bad as I thought. How are we doing on UU matter? We're actually using up some UU matter. Nice. We had 600 and some thousand millibuckets with not a lot to do with it. That may change if I can find more things that we can replicate. The things that are on the list to the information tab for the replicator, I don't think we're going to need that much of any of those things. But who knows what else we'll find, like 10,000 pistons that would be good for this. Can I turn this up even more? Oh, now I start chugging on power. We could try adding more power to another side. We have more sides available. Speaking of power, what am I doing to mine? We're actually making a noticeable dent in this. Why am I only inputting 1.5? That ain't right. Let's input 6. I had my input throttled originally because I didn't want to suck all the power out of my thing. Oh, it's probably actually now gated by the input port. So the induction port, I think, will only handle 2.2. Because we're generating probably more than that. Depends if it's daytime, which it is, and if we're probably creating a couple million, maybe even 3 million from our Envirotex array, solar array. And we're creating 3.6 million here. All right, well, let's take a look at this, see how it's going. 2,200. All right, well, this isn't going as slowly as I feared. So we're just going to let this run for 10-15 minutes. And then we should have our matter condenser. And the matter condenser should then be able to, I don't know what this takes. We might have to, we need to put 256,000 items. But here I think we can use cobblestone, so that's going to be pretty easy. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it can be pretty easy. So I got a 64K storage device to put in this bad boy when we get it. And then, yeah, all we got to do is tell it we want 256,000 items to make this and pump. We can probably do that with an export bus with speed upgrades, exporting from, or actually we might want to take it from, how are we going to do that? So we have no problem coming up with that. We have 26 sextuple compressed cobblestone, each worth over 500,000 blocks. So coming up with matter is not the problem. It's just getting it into that machine fast enough. what I can try and do is I can try to extract from this drawer, filter to extract cobblestone only, pump it full of things so it's taking out a stack at a time, or I can like push this to 11, see how fast we can extract. So I might make a whole bunch of these and just see if there's an upper limit on the speed, and then we can pump those into there and see how quickly we can get 256,000 into the matter condenser. Alright, so we have a plan. This is going to take 10-15 minutes probably, or longer. So we're going to pause the video here, and I'll check the runtime, and we'll come back with either further results or sort of a wrap-up. Be back in a second. And we got it. Matter condenser. Alrighty. And it didn't take that away from us, so that's nice. That's sort of a catalyst slot, I guess. I did take my eyes away, and we went over by 31. We can eject that. Have some spare stuff. I forget how much. I might have to go back and watch the tape. We had 600 and some thousand UU matter, so we burned through probably at least 150,000 UU matter, making those 10,000 pistons. But that should be worth it. I mean, I have the I have 4 recyclers and 8 UU matter thingies. Wait, how does this work again? Anyway, bottom line is, I think I had 4 more recyclers down under this row, and I got a total of 8 of the UU matter makers here, and I can set those back up. We have tons of power to run them. I am very interested to find out what other recipes what other blocks I can scan and replicate. So, for instance, do I have a block of iridium? No, I do not. But I might have iridium. I've got 12,000 iridium, so it's too late now. Well, let me just try with an ingot. Will this thing scan? Oh, look at that. I'll scan an iridium ingot. I've got all the iridium I need now, but that would have been in handy. Will it do a titanium ingot? Again, it's sort of too late now, but if I ever play this mod pack again, it will not do titanium. Alright, well, interesting. Let's see. So that can be on hold for right now. I'm interested to find out what else I might be able to do that in there that I was unaware of. And if I find any more recipes that I'm going to want to pump stuff out of, I'm going to have to set up my UU matter creation thing again. So let's see what we can do here. We got to put one of those in there. Presumably this bad boy is going to want power. But yeah, I think I was gated by something, but we were pumping 2 million per tick into the replicator to make all that pistons that fast. We had it, and it was no problem. But that's the first time I've really gone, oh crap, I'm using a lot of power. But yeah, we're making 6 million some odd, so it's not a big deal, or at least 3.6 during all hours, and then another 3 million or something during day from the Environmental Tech Solar Array Tier 5 that we've got outside. What was I going to do here? Oh, I need a filter. So we're going to filter extraction from this drawer for cobblestone. to extract. Always active. Oh, there are downgrades. That's what the arrow is. So the max speed upgrade's 15. We're probably going to have to do that. I'm going to borrow these because I'm not sure when I'm going to use this again next. So we'll do that. What was I doing over here before I got sidetracked? Oh, power. Slap that on there. Oh, wait a minute. What is this? Oh, you're an applied energistics machine. You don't want to deal with simple power. You got to have complicated power. So we will craft another energy acceptor. There, be that way. And then pump the power through that. My game was really acting bad. I was crashing a lot earlier today, but it seems to have calmed down, and I think it's a matter of. So this is another thing from last episode. We needed for some reason we need Ender Amethyst. I forget which of these recipes we needed it for, but we needed this for something. Yeah, for ludicrite blocks. That's what we need it for right away. So we wanted to set up a laser with a magenta laser lens, or more than one magenta laser lens, to find us some Ender Amethyst ore. And if you guys watched last thing and you know more than me, you are probably going, dude, you're not going to get that put in your base. And so I didn't get anything after a while, and so I came back to check this, make sure I had it at the right height, and etc. And sure enough, the whitelisted biomes are the end. So I took that operation over there, and if we have time, I'll go show you, because I had to do a similar thing to this. To get it to go faster, I had to send power in from multiple sides to get it to speed up a bit. But let's see, we got condense into singularities. Good. Insert. And extract always active. So we are extracting, yes. We are extracting cobblestone. Is anything happening here? I'm not seeing it. Can we not extract from the frontier? Whoops. Why you no work? Maybe we're pumping it out too fast here. Oh no, it's getting stuff. So we're up to 1,300 already. Bump. I guess I don't need to bump up the thing. Well, I'll keep an eye on this, but it's going up at a nice chunk. We're already up to 2,000 cobblestone stored. So that's good. Let's just run over to the end real quick, and I'll show you what I did to get my Ender Amethyst. Well, I should say let me record it so that a year from now when I'm thinking, why the hell isn't my laser giving me Ender Amethyst. I can watch back my own episode and try and figure out what the hell I did right this time. Alrighty, so we go to the end and we're over here. So of course it helps being in the right. Let's clean up the neighborhood a bit here. Alright, so it helps being in the right neighborhood to be sure. I think you can put extra magenta lenses in here. We're moving at a much better tick now. I might try putting in 4 more lenses, although I don't really need to now. I think I've probably got enough amethyst. But this is a case where I didn't know that Tesla Core library upgrades worked in these industrial foregoing machines. So when I Googled making these faster, I found that out. So I put energy upgrade 1 and 2 and speed upgrade 1 and 2 into these bad boys. And you can see that they are just cooking through stuff. But then it was sputtering on power because I was only bringing power in through one side. So then I had to troubleshoot that, and it turns out that you can bring power in through multiple sides on this machine's industrial foregoing, like on industrial craft. And so by taking out there, you can see I'm pulling 5,000 through one side per tick and 4,000 through the other side per tick. So that is keeping up with the power. And so now we got these bad boys cooking through here. And it's busting through it pretty fast. See, all of them are just cooking along. And if we head back to base, that's been running for, I don't know, a couple hours now. Last time I checked, I had lots of Ender Amethyst. Let's see how that's running. 723. So we might have enough. I'm going to let it run for a while longer. Anyway, but I was saying I was having really bad performance earlier today, and I was crashing and etc. And I think it was when I've got both a piece of the end chunk loaded, and of course I've got a bunch of chunks loaded in the overworld, and then I also went to Stella, to the planet Stella, which is the Mystical Grove Sacred Springs planet that has iridium and titanium and a breathable atmosphere and lots of, sacred oaks and etc. Anyway, I went there for my digital miner and I put it in place, and of course that has a chunk loader in it too. So I think it was chunk loading multiple dimensions that was causing things to be so unstable, because my digital miner is done and I haven't rushed over there to set it back up because we're up to, well, we've only got 700 ore, but that's because we smelted most of it into ingots. So I've got 12,000 iridium ingots and titanium. I've got 4,000 titanium ingots. So I haven't gone back over there to turn the digital miner back on. And it has a chunk loader in it. And since that thing stopped, we have not been, I have not been crashing and stuff anymore. All right, so this thing is cruising. That's probably about as fast as it's going to go. About the only other thing I could try to make it go faster. No, I think it's pulling as fast as it goes. Well, I'm thinking the other thing I could try to do is I could pull this conduit will only go as fast as 64 items per operation, but I bet you I could come off of more sides here with more conduits that aren't connected. So like if I disconnected all of this stuff, I don't know if I want to disconnect all that stuff, but I could probably, this side is free, I could probably move this machine, move my rock crusher, bring another thing and double the speed coming out of the compacting drawer with another item conduit, also with 15 speed upgrades, also with 64 items per operation. And I bet you this thing could take that and we would go double the speed. However, we're already up to 8,000 and it's dinner time, so I'm probably just going to go take off and let this run while I am AFK for a while before going to that extreme. Mostly just because I'm too lazy to move this around. And it's moving at a decent clip. Alrighty, so that's probably as far as we're going to get today. I was thinking we might be able to bash through getting our card today, but we are not going to get the Singularity done, and I still haven't made this. I've got a bunch of 64K ones ready to make this, so that actually should be able to go. Let's see. If we do this, how do I not have those gold ones? Did I use them up? I must have made them up. Those are the logic ones, I believe. Make a few of them. Subscribers need more speed. I think that I've got them all maxed out for speed upgrades. It's out of these too. Alright, there it goes. There it goes. So we need 3 of those. And then to make the 1024K. Boom. Alrighty. So we've got the Anglesite, we've got the 1024, we've got one Singularity, and we are well on our way to another Singularity. We'll have that later tonight. And that just leaves the these guys, and I have all the things for these, I think. Let's see. Okay, I've got the quantum entangloporters. I've crafted 1. Can I craft 3 more? Do I have the stuff? Oh, that's right. I got to make more intricate circuit boards, and I don't have that auto-craftable yet. And I didn't do that because I need to go back to water on my... I need to make those 6 through here, and I need to go back to water for my fluid. So I'll go ahead and do those. That stuff's pretty easy. I just got to put water back in this bad boy and make those and make the rest of that stuff. And that should, all the rest of this stuff's easy, and I think I have it already. So then that will do it. So our runtime is probably already long, so probably next episode we will have our infinity card and move on to our next project. Talk to you later. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and tack the finish of this journey back onto the end of this episode. This didn't take as long as I had feared. It's already now up to, it just clicked over to this and it's already working on the next Singularity, which I'm going to let it do since I know we're going to need more stuff. But it was moving pretty quick. While I was waiting for it, I went ahead and pulled these all out and plugged them back into place. So now I've got 8 recyclers feeding scrap into 8 matter fabricators, and they're just chunking away, making us more UU matter in case I find any more recipes that I'm interested in. I did just scan one thing. I did find one thing that was sort of handy, which was raw circuit boards. And the only reason these are super handy, and I don't know if I'd spend, now that I see they take 332 millibuckets, I don't know that I'd actually use it. But sometimes when I need them there, I'm out of green dye. But yeah, now that I see how much it costs, I probably wouldn't use it. But anyway, it doesn't hurt me to make more UU matter. I've got plenty of power, so may as well let that go. The only thing that bothers me is those matter fabricators are just noisy beasts, as are the recyclers. So there's a lot of noise pollution coming out of that. But anyway, let us go ahead and make our wireless card. So that should be the last thing we need. And so here we go. Yay. And now that goes in here. And now in theory, we can now use this thing from far, far away. Maybe, hopefully. Oh, beautiful. Now, I don't know if it's cross-dimensional, but let's go to the end and find out. All right, so we are in the end. This narrow opening is getting on my nerves. I don't know why I haven't opened it up. All right, so we're now flying around above the end, and oh, access to our inventory. Nice. Does appear to be cooking through some energy, but that's fine. That is lovely. That makes me very happy. Alrighty. Well, while I'm here, I'm going to, I think, stop that apparatus. I've probably got, hey, let's check in the end. Let's check how much amethyst I have in my 871. Double that, so I got like 1600 amethyst. I hope that's enough. I don't know. I guess I'll let it run a little bit longer. Doesn't hurt. Anyway, well, that was an epic hour-long craft, but we got her done. So that's good. We got ourselves some new capabilities, some new infrastructure too. So we got the rest of these tables. These are all the pedestals we'll need. And we've got that set up. Whereas before I only had 2 pedestals. And we've got this bad boy pumping out whatever it pumps out. Singularities. And we got the Quantum Compressor, which I'm now realizing we probably are going to need more of those and to set up an array of them for making singularities, because this thing apparently makes all sorts of stuff that we're going to need in-game. All of these things. So 10,000 Ardite, 10,000 iron ingots. So now that I realize what this is all about, I should check and make sure I have 10,000 of all of these things. I probably should, and if I don't, I can probably get it pretty easy. Worst case scenario, I have to turn my void miner back on for some of this stuff. Let's see, 10,000 mana infused ingots. That's one that I probably have less of than others. But let's see how much we got. I've got 5,000 ingots and 4,600. Yeah, so I can even handle 10,000 of that. Oh, and I got another 856 blocks of it. So yeah, that's fine. At one point, I had I think about 50,000 of each of the ores for most of the stuff that comes out of the tier 5 void miner. And that's before, of course, doubling it. So that's a lot of ingots. So I don't know how many singularities we're going to need. But worst case scenario, I will have to downgrade this bad boy from a tier 6 back down to a tier 5 and turn it on again. And that should get us everything we need in short order, probably. I wonder if we need, are there such things as titanium singularities? There are. Now, I don't have enough titanium for a singularity. 10,000 titanium. Titanium is still the thing which I'm probably have the least of. I've only got 4,000 of it. But it comes pretty quick with the digital miner on Stella, on the planet Stella. I got all of that from, I think, 2 or 3, maybe 3 digital miner runs. But I guess I will need to go back there and turn that back on. And so just as a capper, because I'm going to do that right now, and if you're tuned in, you may not have seen Stella, if you're not watching the entire series, but let's teleport to Stella. So this is another planet, but it does have an atmosphere, so I can breathe there. So here I am, and it is a Sacred Springs, an entire planet as far as I can tell, of Sacred Springs biome. The Sacred Springs are the little water, the little ponds. They have regeneration. You can hop in them and get regeneration. There's nothing spawns here as far as I can tell. The only life I've found on the planet has been, I found a little pixie village with some fire and ice pixies. But other than that, nothing spawns here. Me and Zombie Steve are actually going to retire here because it's a nice little planet. The sky's a bit on the purple side, but the trees seem to like it, so who are we to complain? But yeah, you can see in the top right, I got a little regeneration buff from going in the hot spring water here. So there's hot springs, there's trees for days. There are some forestry trees here, and they stick out like a sore thumb when you see them. So if you're looking for that, there's also silverwood. So if you're looking for silverwood, I think I saw some great wood as well. It's a little hard to see the flowers, but there are botania flowers here. But there's so much tree cover, they're a little pain in the butt to find. But yeah, this is a nice little planet. Anyway, I'm going to set up. It looks like I have done 3 DM runs here, and that got me 4,000 titanium. So we're going to set that up again somewhere in here. Just moving over 4 chunks every once in a while and throwing that bad boy back down. And so somewhere in here, if I can find some ground to put it on. And we'll keep gaining. Now that I know I need 10,000 titanium, I'll just keep getting some. Anyway, I will talk to you next time. Goodbye for now, for real. Bye.